welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nats, and I hope everyone is happy, healthy, and doing okay. Alright, so in today's video, what I wanted to share with you guys are some of the habits that I have developed since living in Japan. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nate and I am a Jamaican living in Japan. I have been here for 2 years now and a couple months. So March 2020 made my 2-year mark since living here, and yeah, I have been here a while, so chances are I would have developed some form of Japanese habit. I mean, if I didn't, something might have been wrong with me. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. So if you would like to know some of the habits that I developed while living in Japan for the past 2 years, then keep on watching. The first habit that I developed while or since living in Japan is taking my shoes off. Alright, so if you know anything about Japan, or if you've watched any of my previous videos, you hear me mention that in Japan you have to take your outside shoes off before you enter into a building and put inside shoes on. And this happens at hospitals, at clinics. Well, not hospitals, I've never been to the hospital, but I am almost sure that they have inside shoes there. But at the clinics, I've been to a clinic and I had to change my shoes. I've been to the dentist and I've had to take my shoes off. Schools, homes, people's houses, and all of that stuff. In my apartment tour video, which I will link right here for you guys, you will see where they have a Genkan area, and that is where you change shoes. So taking off my shoes, even when I went back home last summer to get married, it was so natural for me to like take my shoes off outside, and that never happened while I was living in Jamaica. So that is definitely one change that I have developed while living in Japan. Alright, so the second habit that I developed while living in Japan is apologizing too much. Alright, and I say too much because in Japan it's always like for everything, like it's like sumimasen, gomen nasai. It's for everything. Like a teacher or a person would hit their feet on like the desk, you know, Jamaican, when you buck up your foot, and he would be like apologizing to the desk. He would be like, oh, gomen nasai, sumimasen, and it is nobody, it's just a desk. If you're in the supermarket and you're in somebody's way and somebody says excuse me, you're like, sumimasen. And I think we do this too in the Western culture, whether we're from America or whatever Western country, or really any country. I think that if it is that you're in somebody's way and you're kind of coming out, you'll be like, sorry, or something like that. But in Japan it happens so much. I have found myself saying sumimasen and gomen nasai very often. I think I developed that while I'm here, because even though I was apologetic in Jamaica, it was nowhere near this much, if you understand what I mean. The third habit that I developed since living in Japan is I have more patience, guys. Listen, Japan is a country that if you don't have patience, will teach you patience. You hear me? They'll teach you patience because they are so thorough in everything that they do. And you have to, customer service, for example, is one of their biggest, I would say, attribute. And I must say they excel in that area. And I remember many times going to the shopping store or wherever, and they are packing your bags for you. You will bring something to the cashier and they will fold it for you. Like if it's a clothing piece, they'll fold it for you, and they're taking their little time to fold it to ensure that it is nicely folded to put in the bag. The same bag that as you reach home, you're just going to pop out whatever you buy and throw it down somewhere. They fold it neatly and they take their time and put it into a bag, and then they give it to you. So because you have to stand at the cashier waiting for at least 1 or 2 minutes while they carefully package your stuff and hand it to you, you develop patience. Because where I am from, guys, you buy something, you throw it into a bag and you leave. You know, nobody nobody cares about the products that are inside your bags or what you're buying. Where I come from, which is in Jamaica, you understand? So coming here and seeing how these workers, they take care of your stuff and they take time to do it, it really taught me patience. So yeah, having patience has been one of the things on my top list, and separate and apart from just regular shopping and customer service, even on the phone, because some of the times you are speaking on the phone with Japanese persons, or if you do get an English speaking person on the phone, it will take some time for them to register exactly what you're saying, because remember that they don't speak English that well. So that is another patience teaching, because you have to be patient enough to be on the phone with them, to repeat whatever you're saying to them at least 500 times before they can actually understand. And because English is not their first language, you'll find that they're on the phone with you and they're talking and they're asking you the same thing that you are saying to them 100 times, because they want to ensure that they are giving you the best customer service, and in order to do that they have to understand what you are saying 100%. So patience is one thing that I've developed in Japan. I have never had patience. All right, just give me my things, give me my things, give me my clothes, just give it to me. All right, patience was never one of my strongest attributes. It is now, thanks to Japan. The fourth habit that I have developed since living in Japan is the way of marking books at school. And I know this sounds so funny maybe to some people, but in Jamaica we normally mark books a different way, and I learned this when I tried marking books at my first time at school. So in Jamaica we normally give a tick for correct answers, and then we give an X for wrong answers. Now, when I just came and I started teaching, the teacher was doing an activity on the board. As they discussed the answers, I was supposed to like mark whether it's correct or incorrect. And on the board, the first one I think was correct, and I put the tick, you know, the tick, which means it's correct, it's a check. And then nobody said anything to me at that time, but then we went on to the second question and I think it was wrong, and then I put, you know, the X. And then as we were continuing to the third one, I heard students mumbling, and the students and the teacher were talking in Japanese. And I was like, what's happening? I said to the teacher, I asked the teacher what's happening, and she was like, the students are wondering because you said number one was right, but then you have this. And I'm like, in Jamaica, I'm so sorry, in Jamaica when something is right we tick it, but apparently in Japanese when something is correct they put a circle around it. So I'll try to find a picture of when I'm marking somebody's book or something, but it's a circle, not a tick. If you tick it, it means that it's wrong most of the time. It's the tick to them is like drawing a line through something when it is not spelled correctly, or you want to use a different word. So that's what a tick is to them. In Japan, when something is correct, especially in students' books, you put a circle around it. If you're like filling out some doctor's form and they ask you to check whatever applies to you, usually it's a circle around the stuff and not a tick going on and whatever. So yes, that was a very rude awakening for me. I probably was embarrassed, I'm not sure, but that's how they mark books in Japan. Moving along. Alright, so the fifth thing, or the fifth habit, I keep saying thing, right? Alright, so the fifth habit that I developed while living in Japan is caring less about my safety. And you might have heard that and be like, what? But the thing is, Japan is relatively safe, at least the places where I have lived before, okay? So now, as you might have seen in one of my other videos, I told you guys that my husband and I, we moved recently, and this move is actually our third move in Japan. All right, 3 moves, 3 different prefectures. So I think we have enough experience to be able to state whether or not we think it's safe here. Some people argue the fact that it is not very safe, and I am thinking that maybe that's because they're in very city-like places where a lot of people are, so maybe you're at more dangers. But to be honest guys, where we're living now is also another city. So we first lived in Shizuoka prefecture. We lived in Shizuoka city. That's when Adam just came here and myself, and then we moved to Miyagi prefecture, and then now we're living in Saitama prefecture. So 3 decent sized prefectures, and my mind has not been changed. Like, it's safe, it's safe. I can leave my bicycle with my bicycle key in it and come back, and my bicycle key is right there. I can leave groceries in my bicycle basket and go somewhere and come back and it's still there. I can leave my door open and come back and nobody has been in my house. Like it's safe, right? I don't care what anybody else want to say. It has been safe for the past 2.5 years for me. It has been safe for the past almost 3 years for Adam, and that's the verdict. It's safe here, and I don't worry about my safety. I go about my business. I leave my bicycle anywhere. I leave anything in my bicycle. Like, guys, like, it's no big deal. When we just got here, to be honest, we were in the furniture store in Nitori, and someone left their phone where we were viewing, and then he came back after about a couple minutes or hours, I'm not sure how long, and he actually was looking for something, and me and Adam saw him looking for something, and when he found it, he was like, yata, like the same place where he left his stuff, he came back there and picked it up, and he was also a Japanese, he wasn't a foreigner. So in my humble opinion, it's safe in Japan, and I relatively do not worry about, you know, losing stuff or anything like that being here. All right, another thing, another habit that I have developed while living in Japan is wearing less makeup. And I think that I have said this before in other videos. In Jamaica, I used to love wearing makeup. I used to love getting my face together, you know, just looking like a real hot girl. You understand? A hot girl. In Jamaica, we call it hot gal, hot gal. Yeah. But here, I realized that I do not wear as much makeup as I did before. Even now, I don't have on any makeup on my face. It is just my eyebrows that are already microbladed. You guys know that, and a little lipstick. All that's on my face right now is some lotion to moisturize my skin. There's no powder, no foundation, no anything. This is my natural aesthetic. So yes, guys, I have found myself wearing less makeup, and I don't have an explanation as to why that is. I think that because being here, I am not so worried about how I look per se, because in Japan, even though everybody puts themselves together in their own way, nobody is looking at the foreigner. Nobody is saying to the foreigner, oh, your blouse is pretty, oh, your shoes is nice, oh, you look cute. Like, nobody cares, right? So, and I think that it's because of that I realized that there's no need to impress anybody. Once I feel comfortable, then it's good to go. In Jamaica now, everybody, if you wear a nice blouse to work, somebody might be interested. Girl, where did you buy that blouse? I like it. Oh, your hairstyle is looking cute today. Something like, in Jamaica, you will get a compliment for how you look. Here, it doesn't happen. Nobody cares. And I think that is one of the reasons, or that is the main reasons why I find myself not wearing makeup that often anymore. But I still put myself together, just not the full shebang, as we call it. Alright, another thing, guys, I keep saying thing and I don't know why, so you know what, we're just going to stick with it. Another thing that I've developed, or another habit that I've developed since living in Japan, is wearing socks all the time. I am always cold. Now in Jamaica, it's very hot. Alright, it's hot, it's like hell down there, okay? So socks or sleeping in socks was never a thing for me. But being in Japan, where I'm experiencing the 4 seasons, and to be honest, there are 4 seasons, yes, but to me, Japan only has 2. Because I think that from fall to summer, it's cold. Fall is cold, winter is cold, spring is cold. Alright, at least for me. So the only time that I'm probably not wearing socks is summer. And it is funny to me because I was never a socks person. And likewise, I'm wearing socks. I realized that Adam, his habit is wearing gloves all the time. Like, Adam wears gloves even when the place is hot. So it is just like, majority of the time, Japan is so cold, at least cold by a Jamaican standard. By the way, I'm not speaking for all Jamaicans, because some Jamaicans can tolerate the cold. Like, for us though, a little cool breeze is too cold. So Adam wears gloves all the time and I am in socks going to bed all the time. Alright, don't judge me. Alright, and the other thing, the other habit that I've developed since living in Japan is bowing. Okay, and I think this should have been number 1, because oh my god, I bow I bow so much. It's like, ohayo gozaimasu, arigato gozaimasu, sumimasen, yoroshiku onegai shimasu, osaki ni surei shimasu. Like, we're always bowing, guys. Like, with every single thing that we say, we're bowing. And when we're bowing, we're not just bowing one time. It's like, arigato gozaimasu, arigato gozaimasu, and you continue to bow until the person that you're speaking to stops bowing, because that is Japanese culture. Even on a phone call, you'll hear them on the phone and they're like, hi, hi, seishimasu, hi, onagai tashimasu, huh? And they're bowing like this until the other person on the other end hangs up the phone, because in Japan, I think it's culture that the person that you're talking to on the phone hangs up first, because if you just like, okay, yeah, later, and hang up, it's deemed as disrespectful. So normally we are bowing a good amount of times until the other person that we're talking to has stopped bowing and walks away, and that's when we stop. Even the other day when I was leaving my other schools, they walked with me to the genkan where I was changing my shoes to head outside, and they were bowing like crazy and they wouldn't stop, and I'm like, osaki ni shimasu, osaki ni shimasu. And osaki ni shimasu really means like, I'm leaving before you, or so on, something of the sort. We have to say, or everybody says it when they're leaving the workplace, because chances are you're leaving other people in the workplace. It's just a respectful way of telling everybody that you are leaving before them. So oftentimes they're like, osaki ni shimasu, and they were there just bowing as I put my shoes on and as I walked through the door, and they continued to bow until I was no longer in sight. Alright, so bowing has been one thing, but you know what, I enjoy bowing. I like bowing, okay? And the final thing, the final habit that I've developed since living in Japan, which maybe is not even a habit that I developed, and you know why, but it's just a thing that I find myself doing very much, but I don't think it's a habit because I don't like it, okay? That is walking everywhere. So in Japan, guys, you have to walk a lot, and I hate that. If you're not walking, then you're riding or driving, and I don't think many persons drive in Japan. I mean, many persons drive, but the percentage, I think more people have bikes. Is that true, Adam? More people have bikes in Japan. Yeah, so statistically, more people ride bikes than drive in Japan. And even though the roads may seem as if it's very full and packed, and the car parks are jam-packed with vehicles, statistically, more people ride bicycles or bikes or walk or take the trains as opposed to driving their own vehicles. And because of that, I find myself walking very often to get to places if we're not riding, because we don't drive here in Japan. It's not a goal of ours to drive in Japan. And yeah, I don't like walking. I also don't like riding because I oftentimes crash. But that is the situation. We walk a lot, like even to get to our supermarket. Our supermarket here, it's either we ride for 10 minutes or we walk for 20 minutes maybe. So yeah, walking is very a popular method of getting around. I don't like it, but I do find myself walking a lot. Thanks Japan, my feet hurts. Alright guys, and that is where I will stop this video. Those are my habits. To be honest, I lost count. I don't know how much how much habits we've gone through, but those are really the habits that I have recognized that I have developed over the past 2 years living in Japan. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a video. Okay guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
So back to what I was saying. Could be us.